Hey there and welcome back. Today we're taking you on a road trip through some of Europe's most epic roads and passes that every lover of speed, cars, and bikes needs to experience. We're going to talk about the ultimate destinations where you need to go to feel the adrenaline running to your booty. So sit back, imagine yourself in your dream car, engine roaring, curves ahead. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. All right, let's start with probably the most famous one of all, the Stelvio Pass in Italy. When you talk about legendary roads in Europe, the Stelvio Pass is almost always the first one mentioned. This place is the ultimate destination for anyone who loves a good set of curves. Why? Picture this: 48 hairpin turns just on the north side alone. Yup, you heard that right, 48. This is pure technique, where you want to time every steering move perfectly and let your car dance through those bends. And the road itself? It's steep, narrow, and takes you up to nearly 2,757 meters. This makes the Stelvio Pass the second highest paved pass in the Alps. Every petrolhead knows that the higher you go, the thinner the air, which means your engine has to work harder. This is the spot to really put your vehicle to the test. Plus, the road keeps changing. You've got sections where it's wide enough to really step on the gas, but just when you feel like you're in a flow, bam, another razor-sharp turn comes up. And I haven't even mentioned the views. As you climb, you get breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains and valleys. It's like driving in a postcard. Just make sure your brakes are in top shape because you're really going to need them here. All right, let's move on to a road that was made famous by Jeremy Clarkson on Top Gear, who once called it the best road in the world. We're talking, of course, about the Transfava Highway in Romania, and believe me, the moment you drive on this road, you'll understand why he's such a fan. This road is a literal roller coaster, and I mean that literally. It's got sharp hairpin turns, long winding sections, and straight stretches where you can really open up the throttle. The Transfava twists through the Carpathian Mountains, taking you up to some of the highest peaks in Romania. You're constantly dealing with elevation changes, so you get that thrill with every turn, like you're being tossed around on a roller coaster. And technically, it's a challenge too. The road is narrow in some places, and the surface can be rougher than on other famous passes. This means you don't just need to steer well, you also have to anticipate different road conditions. Add in a few tunnels that cut right through the mountains, and you've got an experience that's not only about speed, but also about agility and technique. This is definitely a place you need to go to feel that unique mix of nature and adrenaline. Next stop, Austria, where we're heading to the impressive Grossglockner High Alpine Road. This is more than just a road. It's a driving adventure through the Alps. We're talking about a 48-kilometer route with 36 bends that snake through some of the most spectacular mountain landscapes. This road is just pure alpine driving at its best. The turns range from wide and easy to tight and narrow. And what I love is that this road was specifically designed to make the driving experience as thrilling as possible. It's almost like they laid it out for petrolheads. The technical challenge? You're driving up to an elevation of 2,504 meters, which means your vehicle has to contend with that thin alpine air. You can feel your engine power dipping a bit as you ascend, adding that little extra to the challenge. And let's not forget the views. At the end of the route, you reach the Kaiser Franz Josefs Hohe, a viewpoint where you can see the Grossglockner, the highest mountain in Austria. And believe me, the feeling you get when you park your car there and look out over those mountain peaks, it's something you won't forget anytime soon. For the next road, we're crossing over from the Alps to Scandinavia, to one of the most spectacular routes you can drive, the Trollstigen in Norway. This is a road that looks like it's straight out of a fantasy movie. The Trollstigen is a long one, about 106 kilometers, but it's more than enough to give you an unforgettable experience. What makes this road so unique are the 11 hairpin bends that wind their way up a steep mountain wall. Technically, this road requires skill. The bends are tight, the road is narrow, and there's little room for mistakes. And if it rains, which it often does in Norway, you really need to stay alert. The road can be slippery, and the mist sometimes makes visibility pretty limited. At the top, you reach a panoramic viewpoint where you get a phenomenal view of the Stigfossen waterfall cascading down the cliffs. Trollstigen isn't the place for speed, but if you're looking for a road that'll get your heart racing, this is absolutely one to try. Number 5 of today, the Furia Pass in Switzerland. This road became famous thanks to the James Bond film Goldfinger. And honestly, once you drive on it, you totally get why it's such an iconic spot. The Furia Pass has everything you'd want in a real mountain road: sharp hairpin turns, steep drops, and views that'll leave you speechless. Technically, it's also a thrill. The bends come one after another, and the road is narrow, making it perfect for drivers who want to really steer and feel every turn. You're climbing up to about 2,429 meters, which means your car has to work hard in that thin mountain air. And let's not forget the view. On clear days, you can see the Rhone Glacier and epic vistas that are just incredible. So if you've ever wanted to feel what it's like to have a Bond moment behind the wheel, the Furia Pass should be right at the top of your list. Now let's head north again, to Norway's Atlantic Road. If you're looking for a unique, thrilling coastal drive, this is the one. The Atlantic Road isn't just a road. It's a masterpiece that connects small islands with swooping bridges and curves that seem to defy gravity. It's only about 8 kilometers long, but those 8 kilometers are like nothing else. You're driving right next to the ocean, with waves crashing against the rocks just meters away. And when it's windy, oh boy. This road turns into an adrenaline-pumping experience with waves splashing over the edges of the bridges. It feels like driving on the edge of the world. The bridges themselves have these sharp, steep curves that make it feel like you're on a roller coaster. And in terms of technique, it's not about high speed, it's about handling the curves and maintaining control over a challenging road surface. The Atlantic Road might be short, but trust me, the experience is one you'll never forget. If you're a petrolhead who loves the thrill of nature combined with driving, this road is a bucket list must. Now, on to one of the most legendary racetracks in the world, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, or Green Hell, as it's famously known. This isn't just a road, it's a true test of driving skill, technical knowledge, and courage. Spanning nearly 21 kilometers with over 150 corners, the Nordschleife isn't for the faint of heart. Every corner on this track has a different personality. You've got blind turns, high-speed straights, sweeping curves, and tight hairpins that test everything you've got as a driver. The elevation changes are wild too, which can really mess with your balance and grip if you're not careful. Unlike a typical mountain pass, the Nürburgring lets you push your car to the limit on a controlled, purpose-built track. This track will expose any weakness in your driving, and it'll do the same to your car. Make sure your brakes, tires, and suspension are in top condition before you even think about taking on this beast. For any petrolhead, driving the Nürburgring isn't just a thrill, it's a rite of passage. Just imagine the feeling of tackling the same corners that countless racing legends have faced. This is one road every true car enthusiast has to experience at least once in their lifetime. Next up, we're heading to the French Alps for the iconic Col de Tourigny. This road is famous in the world of rally racing as part of the Monte Carlo Rally, and once you drive it, you'll understand why. With endless hairpin turns, narrow mountain paths, and steep drops, the Col de Tourigny is pure, unfiltered driving excitement. The road itself is around 32 kilometers long, and it feels like it's just one bend after another. You'll find yourself navigating tight switchbacks and fast, sweeping corners that keep your adrenaline levels sky high. It's the perfect playground for anyone who loves handling technical corners at speed. And technically, this one will really test your braking and steering. You need to be smooth but precise, and if you're lucky enough to drive it at night like they do in the rally, the atmosphere gets even more intense. The scenery is absolutely breathtaking too, with sweeping views of the surrounding mountains. So if you're a petrolhead looking for a true challenge, the Col de Tourigny is one of those legendary mountain roads that just has to be on your list. All right, next on our list today is the stunning San Bernardino Pass in Switzerland. This is a true alpine gem that offers one of the best combinations of technical driving and insane mountain views. Picture winding through tight hairpins, smooth, sweeping curves, and even a few long straights where you can give your engine a good roar. The San Bernardino Pass reaches an elevation of about 2,065 meters, so your car will be working hard as the air thins. The route itself is around 19 miles or 30 kilometers of twists, turns, and incredible views, with sections where you can open it up a bit, followed by tighter sections where you'll want to hug the curves. This road demands respect. Those tight turns require precision handling, so make sure your tires and brakes are up to the challenge. If you're looking for the ultimate driving experience with all the beauty that Switzerland's Alps have to offer, the San Bernardino Pass is where you want to be. Next up, we're heading to Italy's Dolomites for a road that's as beautiful as it is challenging, the Passo di Giau. This road is about 10 kilometers of pure driving bliss, with views that will make you want to stop at every corner, although you probably won't want to slow down once you get going. The Passo di Giau has everything a driver could ask for: hairpin bends, steep inclines, and panoramic views of the Dolomite peaks that surround you. Every turn reveals a new view that's even more jaw-dropping than the last. And those hairpins? They're tight and frequent, so you'll be shifting gears a lot and working that steering wheel constantly. Technically, this is a road that'll keep you on your toes. You need to be smooth with your inputs because the elevation changes and tight corners don't leave room for mistakes. And the views. Did I mention the views? If you're looking for a road where you can really feel connected to the car, the road, and the scenery, Passo di Giau should be on your list. It's an alpine drive that feels like a true adventure. Our next stop is the incredible Susten Pass. This is one of those drives where you feel like you're in a car commercial the whole time. It's about 45 kilometers of smooth tarmac, sweeping curves, and breathtaking mountain views that make it impossible to focus on anything else. What makes the Susten Pass so special? First of all, it's a really fun road to drive. The curves are wide and flowing, which lets you keep up a nice pace while you enjoy the ride. And then there are the tunnels. Several of them cut right through the mountains, giving the drive a cool, adventurous vibe. Plus, you've got an elevation of around 2,260 meters, so you're right up in the clouds. Technically, the Susten Pass is less about intense hairpins and more about mastering smooth, controlled cornering at speed. The surface is well maintained, making it perfect for getting a real rhythm as you navigate the curves. And of course, those incredible views over the Swiss Alps are worth every minute. For anyone who loves to drive, this is a must-hit road in Switzerland. For the final road, we are heading over to the UK. Let's talk about the legendary Black Mountain Pass in Wales. This one is known among locals as the Top Gear Road. And once you drive it, you'll understand why. It's got steep climbs, tight corners, and narrow roads that wind through some of the most beautiful landscapes in Wales. The Black Mountain Pass is around 20 miles or 32 kilometers of unpredictable, thrilling road with lots of blind corners, sharp hairpins, and a few exhilarating drops. The scenery is pure Welsh countryside, green hills, grazing sheep, and the kind of open space that just begs for a spirited drive. This road is all about control. You can't take it too fast, but the challenge comes from handling the tight, twisting turns and the varying elevations. There are places where the road seems to drop away, and then suddenly you're climbing back up again, all while taking on those curves. It's the kind of road where you'll really feel your car's handling capabilities being put to the test. If you're a petrolhead looking for a drive that's technically challenging and visually stunning, the Black Mountain Pass is a road you've got to try. And there you have it. We've taken you through the almost epic roads and mountain passes across Europe, each one offering an epic blend of thrill, from the sharp hairpins of the Stelvio Pass to the coastal vibes of the Amalfi Coast and the iconic Nürburgring. These roads are absolute must-drives for anyone who lives for that feeling of freedom behind the wheel. Whether you're dreaming of a high-speed sprint through the Alps, tackling tight hairpins in Wales, or cruising along the Mediterranean, there's something on this list for every kind of driver. So now it's time to plan your ultimate road trip, fuel up, and experience these legendary routes for yourself. For coming along on this virtual road trip. If you enjoyed this list, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. And let us know in the comments which road you'll be adding to your bucket list. Until next time.